Quick, put your phone down now. It's emitting radiation that could harm you, isn't it? Well, not exactly. Radiation is a word that has become synonymous with danger. When you think about it, you probably imagine biohazard signs, hazmat suits, and possibly even nuclear bombs. But the reality is that there are different kinds of radiation. You may have heard of radiation sickness, and the truth is that there is such a thing. But while you can get sick from too much radiation, the chances of this happening are slim to none. This may surprise you. After all, aren't we surrounded by devices that emit radiation, and aren't these technologies just becoming more prevalent as time goes on? The answer is yes, there is radiation all around us. The radiation is just in different forms and degrees of radioactivity. But how much radiation would it take to get you sick? Better yet, how much radiation would it take to kill you? First things first, let's make something clear. The word radiation is often immediately associated with nuclear radiation, but so much of the radiation around us is a different type of radiation, and it's a type that you've probably already heard of: electromagnetic radiation. That's right. All this time we've thought of mushroom clouds and hazmat suits when we hear of radiation, when we could have just as easily been thinking about rainbows. At its core, radiation is just the emission or transmission of energy through space in the form of particles or waves. Depending on how much energy is being transmitted, radiation can either be ionizing radiation or non-ionizing radiation. Let's go over the second option first, because it's what we deal with more often. Radio waves, microwaves, infrared light, and visible light are some examples of non-ionizing radiation that we encounter on a daily basis. When you are driving, you can listen to music because radio waves carried through the air send a signal to your car's radio. When you use your phone or laptop, radio waves allow it to download or stream an awesome science video which you are able to watch because your phone emits visible light. So no, you aren't in any immediate danger from radiation poisoning because you use your phone. Now, ionizing radiation is a different story. As the name implies, ionizing radiation transmits enough energy to knock electrons off of atoms, which turns them into charged ions. This may not immediately sound like a big deal, but the reality is that this can be incredibly harmful to DNA and cells, which is why ionizing radiation is said to increase the risk of cancer. One obviously dangerous source of ionizing radiation is nuclear waste. In fact, all forms of nuclear radiation are ionizing. But there are other sources that may surprise you. X-rays and even some ultraviolet rays can be ionizing. This is why it's so important for you to protect yourself with sunscreen, and why doctors use protective lead sheets when performing X-rays. Now, how much of this ionizing radiation would it take to make you sick, or worse, kill you? In order to answer that, we need to know how radiation is measured. Scientists measure ionizing radiation using a unit called the sievert. It only takes exposure to 1 sievert of ionizing radiation to make you feel sick, and experiencing 4 sieverts might just kill you. Fortunately, in our daily lives, we are exposed to a very small fraction of a sievert. Any damage caused by this piddly amount of ionizing radiation is usually repaired by the body's natural mechanisms. What is dangerous, however, is being exposed to a lot of sieverts in a short amount of time. When this happens, the body doesn't have time to repair itself, and this is where you begin to feel sick, possibly get cancer, and maybe even die. So there you have it. You don't need to go out and buy a Geiger counter to make sure you're safe everywhere you go. And the next time someone complains about the radiation from phones, send them this video. The truth is that radiation can be dangerous at high energies and in large amounts, but for most of us, these are dangers we'll never have to experience.